And welcome back to another episode of TWiP Weddings. My name is Bruce Clark, and I'm joined by one of my usual co-hosts, Mr. Robert Evans. Morning, Robert.
Good morning.
And this week, we're really happy. We've brought back the director of WPPI International, Mr. Jason Groupp. He's back again this year, almost 1 year to the date that we had you on one of the first shows. And we've got you back to talk about WPPI 2016, which is coming up here March 3rd to the 10th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Morning, Jason.
Good morning. Howdy.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to join us. I know you've got a jam-packed schedule. You're in the midst of getting ready to go down to Imaging USA, and you got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So appreciate taking the time to join us this morning on the show.
Definitely the ramp up. Thanks for having me again.
Excellent. Yeah, you're welcome. So this week, obviously, we've got Jason on. We're going to talk about WPPI 2016 edition, kind of what's new and what people can expect. But before we get into the show, we just want to remind you how you can participate in the show. We've got several ways to interact with us. First, you can visit the website at thisweekinphoto.com/weddings. There you will find the show notes for each episode, which contain links to everything we mentioned on the show. You can also leave your comments and feedback for us in the comments section. If you have a question or a suggestion for a future topic, you can email us. Our email address is twipwed@thisweekinphoto.com. Or if you prefer using social media, just add the hashtag TWIPWed to your post, and we'll keep an eye out for your posts. And if you want to follow along and get involved in discussion on our Facebook group, that's a great place to join. We've got new people joining every week, so just head on over to facebook.com/groups/TWIPWed and be sure to sign up for our Facebook group and join the conversation. So without further ado, I know Jason's a busy guy, so we don't want to hang on and keep him on the line for too long. We want to jump in and jump into the show. So like I said, we got Jason Groupp on this week, and we're going to talk about WPPI 2016. So for those who maybe aren't familiar with it, WPPI Wedding and Portrait Photography Conference and Expo, and I've borrowed this off the website, Jason, so hopefully I'm getting this right. It's the premier industry event for photographers and filmmakers, specializing in the creative and business aspects of wedding and portrait photography and filmmaking. WPPI is a week-long event combining educational seminars with a major industry trade show and networking events, all designed around learning the latest techniques, building new relationships, and growing a business in a friendly, fun environment, all at one time in one place. Did I get it right? Did I nail it?
That sounds like our marketing director's copy. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Excellent. So you don't have that memorized? That isn't something you whip out when you get an elevator with people and they say, hey, what's WPPI?
I think one of the interesting things about working at WPPI now is that, you know, we have a marketing team and marketing director. He's a great guy. And there's definitely always the Jason voice and the WPPI marketing voice. And his is always a little more official than mine is. Yeah. And it's always kind of the balance of the yin and the yang with him and I.
Nice. So for those, I mean, we had you on the show last year. It was actually one of our early episodes. I think it was episode 3 that we had you on to talk about WPPI last year. So for those who want to go back and listen to that, obviously a lot of that will still apply to this year. But just give us a brief kind of elevator pitch summary of what's kind of happening at WPPI this year. What are some of the new things people can expect who've maybe been to the show a few times? I went last year for my first time and had a great time, so I'm coming back this year. But maybe for those who have been a few years, what's new this year? And for those who haven't been, what can they look forward to this year?
Well, first of all, I guess it's your anniversary, right?
It's my anniversary, yes. Yeah. Do I get anything? Is there a cake? Or...
Well, if he gets something for his 1-year anniversary, this is my 25th year in a row going to WPPI.
Ooh, wow. Was that silver?
Yeah, what is that?
Silver anniversary.
Silver? You could buy me a shot of Patron silver.
You got it.
There we go.
I'll just get some paper.
Right. I was also saying it's your year anniversary doing TWiP.
It is.
Right? Yeah.
It is.
The anniversry with that, too.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm gonna so new things real quick. The quick sound bites on things that's happened this year. Bryce keynote we're really excited about. She's got a really fun, and I think it's going to be a really informative. I think it's, she's really talking about the printed product and sales, and sales techniques and ways, and using real case studies of photographers who've kind of gone through her process. And I think a lot of our audience and a lot of photographers who come to WPPI, they're there to learn photography and learn how to run their business. But business is never the sexiest topic in the world, so it's always a hard one to teach, and Sue has really been amazing in our industry teaching that. So I'm really excited for her keynote. I think she's going to knock our socks off, so I'm pretty psyched about that.
Sue's fantastic. For those who've been living under a rock maybe and don't know who Sue Bryce is, maybe do you want to just tell us who Sue is? And
oh boy.
in 30 seconds or less, I don't know.
I mean, Sue is an international portrait photographer. She's from New Zealand originally. She lives here in the States now, and she's been a great teacher and educator and a very, very talented photographer. I'd be
surprised if people don't know her name. She's a phenomenal photographer, and I really admire her work. So
yeah. Also, so what else is new? The formation of the Professional School and Sports Photographers International. We formed a new board of directors that had come from PSPA, which was part of PMA, to form a board of directors that's going to help us with the education for the conference for school and sports photographers.
Okay, so like they're doing the yearbook photos and the class photos and the sports photos, that kind of stuff?
That's correct, yeah. And this group had also done some advocacy for the digital guidelines as part of digital guidelines and privacy issues that goes with school and sports photographers. So it's kind of twofold with us. They're going to help us with some great advocacy, and we're supporting this board of directors to continue to do that work, and also helping us create the content that we're going to do at WPPI. We've always had this university program the last 4 or 5 years, where it's a full-day program dedicated to kind of an intensive day of one specific topic, and now this is going to be the new home for PSPI. So we'll have a full day that's dedicated to only school and sports volume photography, and we'll have some little mixers, and this program has always had lots of fun giveaways, and it's kind of this full day where we kind of go back and forth between this mini trade show and platform seminars. So it's a really great way for people who are interested and it kind of adds this new genre to what we do outside of wedding and portrait photography. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a lot of work working with this group, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that people don't know about WPPI this year is the formation of this PSPI, and that will also fall under the umbrella of our membership, which is the Photo Plus group. And now, as a Photo Plus member, you will be a member of WPPI, you'll be a member of PSPI, and you'll get discounts to all of our stuff as well.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. That's kind of growing. It's all coming together. That's great. Robert, have you ever shot any that genre? Have you done any sports or that kind of photography?
Not like for schools. I do some high school seniors, but on a very custom one-on-one level, nothing volume-wise. I love shooting sports. I shoot all my kids' stuff. I've shot a couple professional football games, been on the basketball court under the rim, for NBA games. It's really kind of fun, anything. It's just sort of that thrill of the hunt and what can you stop and catch. So I sort of enjoyed it. It's kind of like a side. I don't make any money from it, but it's just kind of a side passion.
We could come to WPPI and learn how to make money from that, right?
Yeah.
But I should have led with the most important thing that we're doing this year as part of membership is you receive a full platform pass as part of your yearly membership.
Yes, that was going to be my question. You saw my question in the notes, so tell us about that.
WPPI is, one of the things that I recognized as the director was I really wanted people to, engage with us more on a membership level, where a lot of people just come to our trade show and conference every year. We have so much that goes on during the year. We have our other trade show in New York, and we have lots of contests and competitions, and this I felt was a really important way for us to, increase the value of membership. And of course, the best way to do that is free education, right? So for $149.99, which is the membership yearly dues, you now get that full platform pass to come to WPPI, which used to run anywhere from $99 to $350, depending on when you bought it.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah, it's a huge incentive for us. It took a lot of work for me to talk my bosses into doing it, and it's been really, really well received. Of course, I mean, we're giving people basically $100 back on coming to WPPI, at best, if not more. And the results, it's going to be a packed show this year. I mean, registration is doing very, very well, and we're pretty excited.
So Jason, if somebody were coming to WPPI and they didn't know about this, and they're going to purchase a pass to go to WPPI, but now they're going to get the benefit of a WPPI membership, what other things do they get sort of as a benefit to just coming to WPPI this year?
Yeah, so I mean, there's and it's always so hard to kind of put it in one succinct sentence.
I know there's
so much going on, but yeah, so not only do you get the full platform pass, which is a platform, as we call it in the conference, is a theater style class. So it's usually a larger room. The classes are 90 minutes, and there's over 80 of those classes to choose from Sunday to Wednesday during our conference program, as well as getting that you have access to Keynote is part of the full platform pass. And that PSPI day that I was talking about is also part of that pass. When's
the PSPI day happening?
It's on the Saturday.
Saturday,
March
the 5th?
5th, correct.
Okay.
Also with that, on that Saturday and Sunday, we have our live judging competition where 2 days, 8 rooms, 40 different categories. You can watch the live judging of the print competition, and then the Thursday and Friday prior to that, we have what I like to call our pre-con, which is we do these plus classes. We have 5 plus classes each day. Those are additional classes. So we also have add-on classes to the platforms, which are called plus classes. It's a full day class from 8 a.m. generally till 2-ish. 3, 4, 5 o'clock, depending on what the teacher wants to do, and it runs fairly inexpensive for $199 for the day. Those are on Thursday and Friday, but for the first time this year, we've added 15 more plus classes that run Monday through Wednesday. So now we have 25 plus classes that run during the course of the 2 weeks. So a lot of people, I find, again, getting back to the first time, like, am I coming for the whole week? Am I coming just for a couple of days? You got to figure out what you want to do, but most people don't come for the whole week, but most people pick like a section or a chunk of it, and I'll get in trouble for saying you shouldn't come for the whole thing, but my best suggestions is definitely Saturday to Wednesday, or something like that. Anything you can do in between that. If you're a newer photographer, I definitely recommend a plus class. We also have 50 master classes that are 2-hour intensives to only 50 people. The plus classes are only for 25 people. The master classes are for 50 people. And they're a little more intensive classes. Those run Sunday to Wednesday as well. As well as Wednesday night, we do our closing night award ceremony. And Sunday night, I'm jumping around, our Sunday night is our opening night party. Which we always laugh because the conference starts Thursday, but our opening night party's on Sunday.
Right.
But it again will be at Hakkasan this year, which is this really, really awesome nightclub in the MGM.
It's a really cool club, yeah.
Yeah, and so one piece of advice, if you are coming for the first time and you definitely want to come to Hakkasan, you got to get in line early because we only have, our maximum capacity is around 1,500 people. So if you get online, it starts at 8 o'clock. If you get online at 6:30, 7 o'clock, you're going to be fine. But I definitely recommend you're on that line by 7:30. Otherwise, you might have to wait to get in.
Now, is Canon sponsoring that again this year?
I'm not positive. I think so.
Okay, because as a Canon shooter, maybe I can get in the fast lane, so I don't have to slum it with all these Sony shooters like Robert, because he's always at the bar, his elbows out, taking up all the room.
Well, I have some inside information that Sony's going to throw an off-the-hook party this year at WPPI. It's not finalized yet, as I
agreed. Yeah.
But I know, and the ideas that I've heard is they want to do something that's never been done, I know that needs to be inked yet, but so if you want to, come to the Sony side, Bruce, I know some people.
Okay.
I could probably get you right in that door. We can just show up at 9 o'clock when it starts.
Perfect.
Or whatever time
Excellent.
that is.
Sounds good. I was going to circle back to Jason's. I went to the print competition last year, and I found for me that was probably the most beneficial thing that I went to of the whole week. Not to downplay anything else that happened that week because everything was awesome, but just sitting there and watching the print judging was a tremendous educational experience. And I encourage everybody to go, if they get time, go in and take in some of the print judging and print competition because it's amazing.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, anyone who does sit through it, definitely, yeah, if you do nothing else and you can take a couple of hours or take 2 days and carve that out to do it, I mean, for a first-time person, it is overwhelming because there is so much to do, and the print competition is definitely worth a few hours of your time.
Yeah.
Oh, so also with membership, as part of that, we do record it. Last year we recorded it for the first time. And it usually takes us a couple months to do, but a couple months after we release all the video, so you can see all the images being judged on video.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that kind of feedback is it's invaluable. And I looked at some of the amazing imagery that was there, and I was like, why am I? I put my camera down. Why do I bother? Because some of it was it blew me away. So it was really an awesome time. Something else I don't know if this is new or this is something that's been around for a bit. But there's also an intensive filmmaking course. So for those that are getting into videography and that end of things, is that happening before?
The filmmaking class is taught by Joe Schweitzer. It's the intensive. It's actually a reg type. For those of you who are interested, it's in there. You'll see it's FILM, and it's only for 25 people. And what they do is they spend Sunday to Wednesday evening making the writing, directing, producing the WPPI highlights film.
Oh, cool.
And that's how they learn. It's learned by doing for the entire week. And Joe Schweitzer and his team of people, you work directly with them, and you guys go out and they shoot and they direct and they put the whole concept together. So they meet on Sunday, they talk about the concept, they write it, and then they work together as producers. Then they go out and each day they get an assignment for what they're going to shoot as part of it. And it's a little bit of self-study, it's a little bit of guidance by Joe and his team, and then at the end the culmination is edited as a team together. You get up on stage for the award ceremony and you present the film to 1,000 people.
Oh, very neat. That's great.
Yeah.
What a great experience.
It's a great bonding experience with the 25 people. I can tell you that this is the third time we're doing it. I can tell you that usually half the people come back and do it again the following year.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. If you're interested in learning how to kind of get a little intensive in filmmaking, it's a great class.
Awesome. Excellent. Robert, have you dabbled in any filmmaking?
It also gives you full access to everything. So you actually go and record a lot of things, so you can also kind of bounce around to everything.
Very
cool. Back in the days when I shot Canon, when the 5D Mark II came out, or whatever, the first one that did video.
Yeah, you were pretty heavy involved with that.
We did a piece called Engage. It was kind of cool, and I shot a couple of my own music videos on my own for friends that are musicians. And video is really great. I mean, I think if you're a good photographer and you can do video. The only thing is that you just have to think a little bit differently because you have to plan a lot more. I mean, the thing that I've said in the past, if you want to go out and take a picture, you can grab your camera and go take a picture. Generally, if you want to do a video or a project, there's a lot of other people that are involved. There's a lot of planning that's involved. You don't have to know how to edit. I don't. But the stuff that I've done, the video projects and everything, I have, I just sit with the editor and direct the edit. But yeah, I've done a few things. I really, really enjoy video, and I think it's a really smart thing for photographers to know, because I think as we go more and more into the future, I think you're going to have to know it and know how to do it, and sort of be somewhat good at both of them, or at least have knowledge of both.
Yeah. Are you seeing that a bit, Jason, just from just talking to people on the show floors and things, are you seeing that hybrid more of it? Because it was a big excitement around it around 4 or 5 years ago, right? When the DSLRs all started shooting video, there was this big, oh, everybody's going to start being these hybrid shooters and stuff. But I don't know if that's happened necessarily. But do you see that, or?
Well, I mean, I definitely think the manufacturers would like us to do more filming, and I think that was kind of the problem. Is that the approach was, it was kind of pushed on photographers, and photographers kind of pushed back. And it's definitely, I think, a little bit more of an advanced topic for photographers. So I think and there are just some people who gravitate towards it. Myself, I gravitated towards it. I enjoyed doing video. I still enjoy doing video when I can. I try and incorporate it into what I do in my job now. Robert's right, you have to think a little bit differently, and things it's a different mindset. It's like, and trying to do, I think that the hard part is they were trying to talk us into doing both at the same time, and I think Robert can probably agree with me that it's like splitting your brain in half to try and do both at the same time. Yeah,
absolutely. You cannot do that as together. Like if you're at the wedding or whatever, you could kind of direct it. You could be the photographer, and I've done that because I have people that will shoot video for me, and I'll say shoot this shot, so that I'm thinking about the edit and using the same still with the same angle and things like that. But it's really a whole different mindset. I did a little interesting experiment, not by choice, but it was really fun. The videographer that done a lot of stuff with me, he's a good friend of mine, and he had a friend getting married, and he wanted to do like a little video for them just as like some sort of gift, but he was attending the wedding. He's like, Rob, I don't want to shoot it. He's like, will you come to this wedding? He's like, I just want you to shoot video all day, do whatever you want, and I'll take whatever footage you do, and I'll just create something for them. So I went to one wedding, and I've done it one time as the video person, and it was really fun, and it was really different. Like you can't quite move as quickly, and you think about something like, oh, you got to think ahead of time, set up for stuff. I had no pressure because, it wasn't like these people were paying me to do it, so that's probably the best way to do it. So it's a good exercise, maybe for you photographers out there that kind of want to do it or are dabbling in it. Talk to a photographer friend and say, hey, could I come to your wedding and shoot some video? Obviously, you want to make sure there's not a professional videographer there that you're going to make mad. But, it's a good way to just sort of like have no pressure, but to, kind of do it and add your own little flair and style to it.
Yeah. And in addition to the filmmaking class, Jason, there are some platform or some plus classes around that topic?
Yeah. So, and that was, again, I did feel like I wanted to be able to offer filmmaking education, but I wanted it to be in a way that was, if the photographers wanted it, it could be part of it. But I also found that there really wasn't a really great filmmaking conference out there, or a large one. There's lots of small ones that are great. And I wanted to find a way that we could make WPPI the home for filmmakers as well. So the idea behind it was, let's invite filmmakers to come, and I think the networking aspect for photographers and filmmakers to come to WPPI is awesome. So what I did was find the best educators that I can on the filmmaking side and invited them to come speak 2 years ago. And we're still working ways to kind of incorporate them as part of WPPI, but I want WPPI to be the home for filmmakers as well on the wedding and portrait side. So we have Kevin Shahinian, Adam Forgione, Ray Roman, Rebecca Forrester, Michael Padilla, Taryn Pollock. Gosh, I'm going to forget somebody. Ortiz, Jose Ortiz, and a few others that are really great filmmaker educators and great filmmakers in their own right. And they're coming to teach about wedding filmmaking. So it's not a hybrid thing. It's here's how I do it, here's what I do in my business. There's a business class, there's filmmaking classes, and they're amazing teachers. And lots of photographers sit in on it, and they learn a ton from it. And I think that's kind of like the gateway drug for photographers. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, just come on over here and check it out.
And that's run simultaneously, right?
Yep. Platforms and master classes.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm going to try and check some of those out too, because I think I'd love to have some people on a future episode of TWiP Weddings to just talk about things, on the video and the filmmaking side of weddings, right? Because that's a big market too, right?
Totally.
So yeah, that would be great. I want to circle back. I had a question about print competition. what's the deadlines for a print competition, or is it?
Oh boy,
we're gonna get this out probably in early February. So will it be too late for people to enter by then, or and do you have any tips?
There's several deadlines. There was an early bird deadline. We missed that. That's come and gone.
Okay.
There's a first deadline and a second and a final deadline, but there's other deadlines that are in there too. So like you have to buy your print entries, I believe, by January 20th.
Okay.
For the first deadline, and then you get 1 extra week if you didn't buy your entries by then, but it's going to cost you $10 more an entry.
Okay.
Which I believe is the third week of January. After that, you have to so you just have to buy your entries and get them uploaded. And when you upload, because it's a physical print you have to mail, you have to upload them by a certain date, but you have to get the physical entries in, I believe, by the first week of February.
Okay.
So that's kind of the deadlines. But if you're entering the filmmaking competition, the deadlines are a little bit looser. Not the first and second deadlines, but you have a little more time to actually get. We want you to mail a thumb drive to us and the like. So best way to answer that question is WPPIawards.com.
Okay.
Everything is there. It's like 15 pages of rules. Don't let that freak you out. But everything is there. And we also have a Facebook page, a Facebook group that can answer all of your questions as well. And just search for 16 by 20 competition. I'm sure you'll find it.
Okay, and we'll I'll try and put links in for all those things into the show notes too, into the episode. So because this is going to go out probably the first week of February, so probably too late if you're listening to this after the fact to enter. But keep it in mind if you're planning for next year, to be early and get on it as far as entering print competition. One last thing, because I know you've got a lot to get to on your plate today, so I don't want to hold you up for too long. Photowalks, are they back this year? Was last year the first?
Yeah, I mentioned them. Yep, 50 of them.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Last year was the first. Was last year the first year for Photowalks, or?
It was.
It was, yeah. So obviously they were successful. Good feedback.
They were. It's the first time we had done it, so we have an operations team that helps us, manage everything on site. So there's some tweaks to that we want to do this year. It's hard because everyone kind of gathers and goes out and does their thing. So I think the educators that taught it, were still kind of feeling the waters for where they can go, and it took a lot for us to get permissions to let people shoot at the MGM. So the real blips really was security shutting down the photographers, and we're saying no, we have permission. So it was a lot of like people talking into ear sets to get to kind of hold things up, but that should not be a problem this year. They're really great. I mean, people really enjoyed them. We're only for 25 people. They're intimate walks, one-on-one with photographers, and they teach everything from lighting to posing to, there was one person who just talked about approaching strangers, and how to take their picture, and it was really, interesting in that sense, kind of on a street photography type level, and people really enjoyed them.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Yeah, so that's good. So Photowalks are back, and when do those take place? Are those kind of again sort of throughout the week?
They're Monday through Wednesday, so we do the Monday morning and Monday evenings. There's 50 of them. However that works out. Yeah.
So lots of choices there. Excellent, and obviously the Expo's back, trade show.
Of course.
Yes, that's always a big part of it. Any
trade show.
It's crazy.
In North America.
It took me 2 daes to get through that. So I was like, whoa, it was nuts.
Yeah,
Any changes there? What's new there on the Expo side of things?
We still have both. It's in two rooms, which I think people the first day they're like, oh my gosh, I spent 2 days. I spent a whole day in there, and then realized there was a whole other room to go to. So yeah, in both rooms, 2 rooms this year.
Awesome. And Robert, you're going to be there, right? You'll be at the Sony booth again.
Yep.
Very good. So if you want to see Robert, swing by the Sony booth. He'll be there. That's great. Yeah, I had a lot of fun at the Expo, and I know even outside of the Expo, some like my album company, Graphy, they had a lounge set up outside. Mm-hmm. Canon had a lounge kind of outside of the 2 main rooms. So there's even stuff going on like outside the 2 main rooms that you can check out too. So
yeah.
No end of things to do. And any other, there's
and
also some
parties.
Lots of parties. I was going to ask, that was going to be my final thing, sort of the parties and some of the social aspects. I know was there a fun run last year and a couple other things?
Yes. There's a fun run. We do that on Tuesday morning. It's kind of an informal thing. I started running a couple of years ago, and some of the people in my office like to run too. So we had said, let's put together a little fun run, and navigating an official route would be really expensive for us. So we kind of just gather in this circle in the courtyard by the conference center and run to the Las Vegas sign, which is about 2 miles, and take some pictures and have some fun. And we're going to try and upgrade that experience a little bit this year, maybe with some T-shirts and water and stuff.
Awesome.
And then we run back. So it's kind of fun because you run to the Las Vegas sign. It's early in the morning. It's a great way to kind of shake off the gathering from the night before.
Yeah. You run past all the walk of shamers.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of interesting in that sense.
I'd join you, but I'm in the fitness protection program. So.
But yeah, the fun run is great. We're not doing a Monday night party this year. We decided that we're going to have some kind of upgraded experiences on the trade show floor this year. So you didn't hear it from me, but I think there's going to be lots of free coffee this year to keep you caffeinated on the trade show, and some goodies that are going to come out in the evenings. And one of the things that I think is great about WPPI is all the other parties that go on. So we felt like this year, let's not compete with those and kind of support those. So, for those of you who have been coming to WPPI, you'll hear about those Monday night parties, but yeah.
Okay, Jason, I have a question for you. WPPI history, and this is your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Who, in your opinion, do you think, through the very first WPPI party, who started that trend? I have a name. I want to see if you think it's the same person. Now, I've been going for 25 years. Yes!
Yes.
I think Becker needs the full honor of starting WPPI parties, because I mentioned I've been going for 25 years, and when I first started going, you went to the trade show during the day, and you maybe went to a vendor dinner at night, and then you went out with your bosses or whatever, because I worked for other studios, and there was nothing that happened at night. And then one year, Becker threw a party, and everyone was like, what? And then it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, that was always the scramble to try and get the invite from B to
right. Now it's like you have to
party.
decide which party you're going to go to. It's not, can you get into a party? It's like, well, which party what's the coolest party?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun that week. I enjoy it, and it was a little bit more fun when I was trying to figure out which party I was going to instead of having to go to all the parties now. But it's awesome, and I'm sure Bruce, you must have had a ball the first time coming out.
I did. It was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Some things that happened in Vegas will remain there, and we won't talk about them. They will not be discussed.
Yeah, it's always fun coming back late from the parties and seeing some of the. You can definitely tell the people who have come to WPPI for the first time.
Yeah. Let's just say there was one morning that I didn't quite make it to a platform class, but that happens.
Yeah.
So.
And a statistic. About 25 years ago, it was about 5,000 guys that attended WPPI.
Right.
Today, Jason, is?
It's about 65% women to 40. Yeah, it's definitely a heavier show on the women's side.
What are you expecting for numbers this year? Do you have a rough idea, a rough estimate?
Dude, it's 15K or bust this year.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are you seeing less Canadians? I'm curious because our dollar right now is brutal. I don't know if you're seeing less Canadians registering.
It is hard. I know the U.S. dollars, it's been hard. The Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar has been. We get so many people that enter from the print competition all over the world, and we've been trying to find is there some kind of relief that we could do for them, but it's really hard, in that sense, and it kind of stinks. But I think people, I haven't seen a drop. I think there are people who come from Canada and Australia and all over the world that are just diehards, and they just figure it out. The nice part is that room rates are much cheaper this year than they were last year, so there is some relief in that. And then with the full platform pass, we're kind of hoping that at least that helps too.
Kind of offsets it a bit, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's just so I do feel for Canadians and our Aussie friends too.
So less
And
shopping
Brits.
and no bottle service maybe at the.
Right, yeah. You're going to have to let me buy you a few more drinks, maybe.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. We can do that. Awesome. We're looking forward to coming back again this year. So we normally have, like, if we do a normal show, we normally have a listener question, and we normally do our picks of the week. But I just want to, because I know Jason's short on time this morning, we don't want to keep him for too long. If you guys had to rapid fire, just a quick pick for something for WPPI that'll help you when you go. I'm going to kick it off with comfortable shoes, because holy man, did I do a lot of walking last year. And last year I stayed at the New York across the street. So I did even more walking, which was okay. I didn't mind.
You looked at the
fitness.
map and you said, "Oh, it's not that far. It's right across the street."
Yeah. That was a lot of walking. So I'm staying at the MGM this year. So, but that comfortable shoes, definitely a thing to bring with you. Robert, what would yours be after 25 years of WPPIs? You had to pick one thing.
Set yourself a personal curfew on when you need to be at home and drink a lot of water. That would be mine. I mean, I've done that over the years. Like, all right, my curfew is 2 a.m.
Okay.
That's
2 a.m. and mix in some water with some of those drinks.
Yep.
You'll like yourself better for it in the morning.
I usually overdo it on the first night, and then that's how my best advice is: pace yourself. There's two pieces of advice. Pace yourself. And yes, the water, but more importantly, when you get to your room, check into your room and drop your bags and go out and get yourself some snacks and bottled water. Go out to Las Vegas Boulevard. There's a CVS that's close. There's a couple of other places that are close. Spend $50-$60 on, some things like snacks and water and stuff like that. You'll save yourself a ton of money too. In stopping at random places for bottled water.
And waiting in lines too, right? Because some of the places get lined up in the mornings for coffee and whatnot. So
yeah, snacks too that you can kind of just get a quick bite for yourself in the morning will save you on that Starbucks line.
Yeah, awesome. Excellent tips. Some good advice. Well, we're looking forward to WPPI again this year. Again, the band's going to be together, so I know Brian's going to be there, and Frederick's planning on coming, and we're talking now about possibly we'll record a live TWiP. Not a TWiP Weddings, but we'll record a live TWiP. But I'm hoping to set up and meet with some folks. And
Wait,
do some
I have one more. So
you got one more.
We have tips, and we all three can do it. Best food tip. What would you absolutely go eat in Vegas? You got to go buy and get this.
Oh.
So I'll give you mine because I have one. My favorite dessert in the entire world is banana cream pie, and the banana cream pie at Emerald's along the way is insane. So if you have that drunken night and you didn't drink enough water and you want to slip into the Emerald's and have a piece of banana cream pie that'll knock your socks off, that's my vote.
That's a good pick.
I'm a big fan of Shibuya.
Yeah.
In the MGM. Yeah.
It's good. Mine would be the name's escaping now. There's a sushi restaurant that's in the Venetian.
Oh yeah. What is the name of that place?
The name is escaped it just fell out of my brain. But there's a sushi place that's in the Venetian.
Yellowtail?
Not Yellowtail.
That's Bellagio. That one's good too.
Well, you know,
if I remember,
place in the Venetian.
Yeah,
you can put it in the show notes.
There's a sushi place in the Venetian. I'll remember the name and I'll put it in the show notes. Definitely has some really good sushi. So check that out if you're into sushi. So. Very good. Well, excellent picks, and I want to thank Jason for being on the show again this week, agreeing to come on and talk about WPPI, and hopefully our listeners out there will be attending. But we got something special. Jason has graciously offered to give us some platform passes to WPPI this year, and so we're going to give some platform passes away on the show. So in order to enter, I'm going to put up once the show goes live, there's going to be a blog post entry or a post on our Facebook group. What you need to do is go to that post in our Facebook group and leave a comment. Why should we choose you to receive a free platform pass to WPPI? And we'll do a random draw of names that people that comment on there, and we're going to send you a pass to go to WPPI this year. So if you've never been or you're thinking about going, that might be a way to go. So I want to thank Jason, the fine folks at WPPI, for that. Very good.
Just remember, people, compliments go a long way.
Yes. Awesome. So that brings us to the end of another great episode of TWiP Weddings. Thanks again to our sponsors for their support, and a reminder to send in your questions and comments for the show, and share your thoughts by commenting on the blog post for this episode. So before we close off, kind of what's everybody up to, and where can our audience go to keep up with you? Jason, where can people find you online?
WPPIonline.com. That's our website. WPPIawards.com for our print competition and filmmaking competition, and that should do it.
Excellent. And they'll find you somewhere if they see you. Come up, say hi, introduce themselves, say,
yeah,
I heard you on
all
TWiP
about
Weddings.
the high five, so just come up and put the hand in the air, and I'll oblige.
Awesome. Good stuff. Just look for the man in the bow tie.
Yeah, you can't miss me.
Excellent. Mr. Evans, where can people find you? Obviously, the Sony booth.
Yeah, WPPI, come by the Sony booth, say hi. If you see me in the hall, you're more than welcome to stop me and say hello. A lot of times we're like in a hurry to get from one meeting to the next meeting, so if I can't stop and talk to you, come see me at the Sony booth. I'll tell you that. Okay, I'm really sorry, but come up, say hi. Especially all of our TWiP listeners. Tell us about the show, what you think about the show, and maybe there will be some sort of TWiP function yet to be determined, but we'd love to see you there. Otherwise, you can find me at Robert Evans on Instagram, at Robert Evans on Twitter, and robertevans.com is my website.
Excellent, good stuff. And I too will be at WPPI. I won't be at any booths or anything. I'll just wander around. So if you see me again, come say hi. Feel free to buy me a drink if you're, a U.S. citizen and can afford. Help out a poor starving Canadian refugee.
You should wear a shirt, Bruce, that says "The dollar stuff in Canada. Please buy me a drink."
I like that. I might get some shirts made up for the Canadian contingent going.
I kind of like the buy a Canadian a drink plan.
Yeah, I like that. Excellent. So if you're looking for me, you can find me over on my website at momentsanddigital.com, and you'll find links to everything there. Or if you want to follow me social networks, I'm at Bruce Clark with an E. And that brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks again for listening to TWiP Weddings, raising the bar one wedding at a time.